If you're starting to chart or have been charting for Rithia, a good thing to understand is how to manage BPM timings to your charting. The best and most important feature of SSQE as it keeps your chart evenly spaced, organized, and on beat. This tutorial will explain what BPM is, metronomes, how to find the BPM of any song, how to add, delete, edit, and change BPM points, and I will point out extra tips to keep in mind while dealing with specific scenarios with BPM. BPM, which stands for beats per minute, is a unit of measurement for the tempo of a piece of music. It helps indicate the speed that the song is being played at. The larger the BPM, the faster the song is paced, and the lower the BPM, the slower the song is sung or played. For example, I will show a digital metronome that will help count 60 BPM, which is a beat played every second, as that's the same number of seconds in a minute. If you double the BPM to 120, songs will be played at a much faster rate and most likely be placed in a higher difficulty. Doubling your BPM is called double time, while cutting your BPM in half is called half time. This can be useful as doubling your BPM can help you go beyond the 32-beat divisor, and cutting your BPM can simplify your charting. It's almost necessary to have a BPM set up within your chart so you can easily chart formally and manage notes much better. There are 4 different ways to find the BPM of your song of choice or any song in general. You can either search online by third-party websites, using the BPM tapper, using the detect BPM feature, or contacting the artist yourself. For the first option, searching third-party websites are very reliable and are usually correct, although they'll usually only provide songs that are well-known or older, neglecting smaller artists and songs. A few third-party websites are also unsecure or outright dangerous, but it shouldn't be that much of a concern. The second option is a BPM tapper, which is a feature within the BPM setup of SSQE. By clicking the button in the tapper, it will summarize your clicks into a tempo, or BPM, which means if you click to the beat of your song for a decent 30 seconds to a minute, you can find the BPM of that same song. If you mess up accidentally, missing a click or double clicking, it barely changes the average and you can just add a few more seconds to your clicking or reset it if needed. You can tell whether you got your average BPM if your number stays consistent and between 1 or 2 numbers. Once you get your average, round it to the nearest one and set the point within your chart. If your average doesn't match the song, then try the opposite of what you rounded to. It is very obvious if the BPM doesn't match, even by 1, if you listen closely and for a few seconds. So make sure to always check whether your BPM matches your song before charting. The third option is the detecting BPM feature within the BPM setup of SSQE. By typing in where you want your BPM to start and where you want it to end. Although this method is kind of terrible by how unreliable it is and inaccurate it is, plus it crashes sometimes. The last option is contacting the artist of the song that you're trying to chart. It doesn't take much effort and the only obstacle is whether they want to or not, or just don't answer. After finding what tempo or BPM your song is using, you need to add it to your chart. Go to your BPM setup and type what BPM you're using and where you want to start it, which is called offset. You should usually put the start of your BPM at the millisecond sound is played, which is indicated with the little squiggly lines and to read where you are in MS. You can look at the bottom timeline and see where your position is, or you can use the current position option to automatically read where you currently are, and after that, you can finally add your point. If you want to delete your point, select the column until it highlights a blue color and simply click delete point. If you want to change anything about your point, like a typo or the BPM not fitting in, or etc., select the column again and change your BPM or offset to whatever you need and click update point. The move selected points option helps move the points by whatever number you want additively. If I want to move my point by 200 milliseconds or 0.2 of a second, I would put 200 and select which point I want to move, then select Move Points. This will move the BPM an extra 200 milliseconds forward. If you select the automatic adjust notes, it will move the notes whenever you move the BPM, but for now it seems broken as it only squishes them together, or maybe it's intended, not fully sure. But if you do want to move your notes with the BPM, just select all your notes at once and drag it to the start of your BPM. I won't be covering how to import timings from different games into SSQE as I never used it and don't know how, although here are some tips to help you improve mapping. The first tip is using the metronome under the timing option. If you're not sure if your BPM is matching your song or you just simply enjoy listening to a metronome, you can toggle this on to help hear whether your BPM matches to your song or just to enjoy. You can change the volume of your BPM by moving the SFX slider on the right of your screen. The second tip will revolve more around dealing with 2 BPMs or BPM changes. If your song has a BPM change, placement of your second BPM does matter a lot. Most music artists will let their BPM change happen at the end of the measure, which is the longest line. I highly suggest not to place your BPM anywhere else unless you have to or the artist intended to, because placing your BPM in the middle of the measure will make the BPM measurements wrong. You can still map just as fine, but it looks weird at times and can be more confusing. If your song contains samples or collabs, there will be a chance that your BPM change will not happen at the first BPM measure, and you will most likely have to either guess or place the point off the measure. Remember, when you successfully add your second BPM change, if it reverts back to its original BPM, then you'll have to add a third point that is the same BPM as your first one. My third tip is to import and export any files. Any files contain all your settings of your chart like BPM, bookmarks, offsets, export settings, and more. If you want to transfer your charting to a different person or device, you should bring the any file with it. This can help the trouble of having you redo finding and placing the BPM, and can help a lot if you are collabing a chart. That's all I have to say for the BPM setup, as if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments below. I have also placed links in the description for the Rithia community server and Squircle workshop, which is a Rithia mapping related server. Thank you for watching, and it would help a lot if you would subscribe to support me and my content.